In this bulletin, 3 supermarkets shut down. Australia to provide comprehensive support. And screening and testing for COVID continues.
From the studios of FBC Suva, ATECA, LEDUA.
3 supermarkets within the Suva and Nasinu areas are closed today. There is no confirmation as yet as to why the 2 supermarkets in McCoy, Hanson's and Shop and Save, and Extra Supermarket in Suva are closed. We now join Christiana ULUWAI live. Christiana, what's the information on the ground?
ATECA, these supermarkets remain closed at this time. We did contact 2 owners of these supermarkets who say that they were advised by police this morning to close down. The reasoning behind this closure is yet to be clarified and known at this time. Here at Flagstaff, Extra Supermarket is indeed closed. However, some shops within close proximity to Extra Supermarket are still open, and customers are still seen accessing some of these shops. And also, a couple of minutes ago, the screening teams were here to screen the supermarket both inside and out. And what was interesting to note that some shop owners were coming out of their shops to take videos and photos of the screening team. Also, some of these customers or Fijians coming to this vicinity were not wearing masks. At this time, FBC News understands that the Prime Minister, together with his cabinet ministers, are having a meeting at the Ministry of Health headquarters together with the Health Ministry. The agenda of this meeting is yet to be known at this time. However, we should expect an update on these recent developments at the daily briefings by Dr. Fong and his team later this afternoon. ATECA.
Thank you, Christiana. Australia will ensure that their support to Fiji and other small island countries is comprehensive. Australian Minister for the Pacific, Zed Zelja, says they've committed around $16 million in the fight against COVID-19. Zelja says the funding is a mix of direct financial support to procure the vaccines and, where possible, sharing surplus Australian doses as well. Zelja stressed that Fiji has a strong health system, but it is always helpful to provide assistance.
In some cases it'll be through direct doses, in other cases it'll be working with our multilateral partners, particularly through the COVAX facility, working with UNICEF to procure more vaccines for Fiji. We want to make sure our support is very comprehensive. It is not just about the vaccine doses, as important as they are, and we want to see that ramp up. It is about the end-to-end support.
Australia has also provided $82 million to the Fijian government to deal with the economic and budgetary challenges posed by the second wave of this deadly coronavirus. The Fiji Navy in the last 2 weeks has deployed more than 70 officers to assist health teams carrying out screening and testing within the communities. Navy Commander Captain Humphrey Tawake says their officers are operating out of 2 bubbles at the moment. Tawake adds they're also looking out for the welfare of their officers, as many have been working tirelessly for weeks without seeing their families.
There's one team based out of Tonga, so when they finish from where they are, they go straight to Tonga, so they are sustained and rituals there after a day's work with the Ministry of Health. And the same way is with the bubble here that we have at Stanley Bun, but we have different arrangements for them. But the ones in Tonga were totally isolated.
The Ministry of Health says over 130 patients are within the cordon of Lautoka Hospital. The hospital has been on lockdown since last Monday, when 4 cases of COVID-19 were recorded from the facility. The hospital is now a full-time COVID-19 quarantine facility and also has health officials in isolation within. Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Chemesa Tundravu says people in Lautoka can present themselves to the Punjab's Health Centre, VCC Health Centre and the FEMAT Field Hospital, which are open to the public as government facilities. Dr. Tundravu also says residents can also go to general practitioners in and around Lautoka. The Fiji Cancer Society is anticipating an increase in the number of surgeries post-COVID-19. Chief Executive Belinda Chan says the current surgeries have been put on hold due to the outbreak. Chan says they're working closely with the Ministry of Health's surgical team at the CWM hospital. She adds COVID-19 has taken precedence over the health services.
Right now, patients are now referred to the nearest health center, and if there's any, if there is an emergency, then they're transferred directly to the emergency department at CWM.
With an increase in the number of COVID-19 cases, more people are being urged to download the Care Fiji app to speed up contact tracing. There have been more than 250,000 downloads of the app, and Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Huang highlighted they want the downloads to surpass 600,000, which is the number of smartphones in Fiji. Vodafone Fiji confirms it has provided an incentive of 200 megabytes free data for every download of the Care Fiji app. It adds that of its 800,000 subscribers, 640,000 are smartphone users. Digicel CEO Farid Mohammed says 85% of its total subscriber base have smartphones. Both telecommunication giants continue to work with authorities to increase the number of downloads of the Care Fiji app. One of Fiji's young stars, Viramu Dikindikirlati, is making headlines in Major League Rugby in the United States for the Houston SaberCats. The All Blacks breakout player of 2020 has opened up on his decision to put everything on hold to chase an Olympic dream. Caleb Clark has rejoined the Sevens setup and will miss games for the Blues and All Blacks to focus on Tokyo. Burnley has knocked out Fulham from Premier League after the Clarets' 2-0 win today. The damage came before the break as Burnley struck twice in the final 10 minutes of the first half at Craven Cottage. There's a mixture of sun and clouds in most parts of the country. Expect showers, which will be heavier at times. A high-pressure system to the far south of Fiji is directing fresh to strong southeast wind flow over the group. That's FBC News Now. Join us again for our 1-hour major bulletin at 7 p.m. And be sure to download the FBC app to access the latest in news and sports and live radio broadcasts from any of our 6 FBC radio stations. Stay safe and good afternoon.